Alrighty then, it's alive. It's alive. Ace Ventura. Pet Detective wasn't just a comedy. It wasn't just another 90s release trying to squeeze laughs out of a weird premise. It was something louder, stranger, riskier. A full-blown character explosion wrapped in Hawaiian shirts, animal calls, and zero restraint. But beneath the noise, things got stranger than anyone expected. One performance didn't just land, it redefined what comedy could look like. One actor didn't just follow the script, he bent it, stretched it, and broke it. And one movie launched a career so fast, Hollywood barely had time to react. These are 20 wild facts about Ace Ventura, and buried inside all that chaos, the moment a nobody became unstoppable. Alrighty then, let's begin. As we look into one of the master of disguises, Jim Carrey's top movie. Number 1, before the hair, before the voice, before the strut, before the chaos had a name. Jim Carrey wasn't a movie star. He was a funny ball of energy moving in all directions at once. He was known, sure, a standout on sketch television, a physical comedian with elastic energy and a face that refused to stay still. But in Hollywood terms, he wasn't bankable. Studios didn't look at him and see a leading man. They saw unpredictability, risk, someone who might go too far and not know how to come back. But they couldn't be wronger. Sorry, that was dumber than Dumb and Dumberer. At the time, leading roles went to safer choices, controlled performers, familiar names. Carrey wasn't any of that. And then, Ace Ventura happened. Not as a safe bet, not as a calculated move, but as a leap into something nobody could fully define. Number 2, the role that made no sense. A pet detective. That was the pitch. No badge, no gun, no gritty backstory. Just a guy who finds missing animals and behaves like an animal himself. On paper, it sounded small, almost like a joke that hadn't fully formed yet. Executives didn't understand it. Some thought it lacked stakes. Others thought it leaned too hard into absurdity. And they weren't wrong. It was absurd. But that absurdity was the point. Like Albert Einstein said, if at first the idea is not absurd, then there is no hope for it. Because Ace Ventura wasn't built to fit into the world. He was built to disrupt it. Number 3, there was no blueprint. The script had a character, but it didn't have Ace Ventura, not the version audiences remember. That version came from Carrey. The voice, half smooth, half mocking. The walk, like he was gliding and bouncing at the same time. The energy, unpredictable, explosive, impossible to contain. It wasn't carefully crafted. It was discovered in motion, and with his brilliantly locomotive emotive ways. Scenes didn't just play out, they spiraled. Moments that could have been simple became chaotic. Lines became performances, reactions became punchlines. Carrey didn't refine the role, he unleashed it. Number 4. Alrighty then, it wasn't written, it wasn't planned. Even Mortal Kombat's Johnny Cage didn't lend it. There was no meeting where someone said, "This is the line that will define the movie." It just happened. One take, one instinct, one moment where Carrey followed the rhythm instead of the script. Alrighty then, bada binga, bada booma. Simple, strange, completely unnecessary, and instantly unforgettable. It became a catchphrase, a signature, a piece of pop culture that outlived the scene it came from. Not because it was perfect, but because it felt alive. It's alive. It's alive. Number 5. Chaos on set. Most actors arrive prepared. They hit their marks, deliver their lines, stay within the structure. Carrey didn't ignore preparation. He ignored limits. He improvised constantly. Lines changed mid-scene. Reactions stretched longer than expected, but that made him into the legend he is today. Moments went in directions no one had planned. Crew members stayed alert, not just for technical cues, but to keep up, because at any second the scene could shift. And sometimes, The best takes weren't the ones that followed the script. They were the ones that abandoned it and ran free to the mountains. Number 6. A director who let it happen. Tom Shadyac had a choice. Pull it back, control the performance, shape the chaos into something safer. That's what most directors would do. But Shadyac saw something else. He saw that the chaos was the performance. So instead of tightening the leash, he let it go. He gave Carrey space, room to experiment, room to fail, and then go even bigger, badder, and wilder than anything seen on cinema screens that time, creating a comedic gem that still is watched now and then today and often referenced in pop culture. That decision didn't just affect the film, it defined it. Number 7. The body became the joke. Before CGI-enhanced comedy, there was this, a performer using nothing but movement. Carrey didn't just deliver jokes, he became them. His face stretched into expressions that felt almost animated. His limbs moved with exaggerated elasticity. His entire body reacted to situations like it had a mind of its own. He didn't act like a cartoon, he moved like one. And that physicality turned simple scenes into unforgettable moments because even when he wasn't speaking, he was performing like a ninja and a buffoon mixed into one super entertainer of a human. Number 8. The dolphin problem. Snowflake. The missing dolphin. Not a prop, not an effect, a real animal. And that changed everything. Every scene had variables you couldn't control, timing shifted, movements changed, reactions had to adapt in real time. Number 9. Critics didn't get it. When the film released, reactions were mixed. Some critics saw it as too much, too loud, too exaggerated, too willing to abandon subtlety. They weren't wrong, but they missed something. Audiences didn't care about restraint. They cared about impact, and this movie had plenty of it. People laughed, repeated lines, told friends, acted out Ace Ventura's ways. The film didn't rely on critical approval. It built its reputation the old-fashioned way, through reaction, through word of mouth. Number 10. A career grows super fast. Some actors build careers slowly. One role at a time, one step forward, then another. This wasn't that. This was instant. Before Ace Ventura, promising. After it, undeniable. Carrey didn't just gain recognition. He gained momentum, and once it started, it didn't stop. Number 11. The triple strike. 1994 wasn't just a good year. It was a takeover. After Ace Ventura came The Mask, then Dumb and Dumber. 3 films, 3 hits, 3 completely different characters, a hat trick of hat tricks. But the same energy, the same commitment, the same refusal to play it safe. It wasn't luck, it was timing, talent, and a willingness to go further than anyone else. Number 12. The wardrobe wasn't random. The shirts were loud and proud. The hair was wild. The look was impossible to ignore, but it wasn't accidental. Ace Ventura wasn't designed to blend in. He was designed to stand out in every room, every frame, every moment. Even before he spoke, you knew exactly who he was, even if it was in a crowd. Number 13. The Bird Method. Jim Carrey based Ace Ventura's entire persona, including his jerky movements, hair, and clothing, on a smart bird at the edge of a pond. Number 14. No subtlety allowed. This wasn't quiet humor. It didn't build slowly. It didn't rely on nuance. It went big. Every expression, every line, every reaction pushed further than it needed to. And instead of breaking the film, it defined it. Number 15. Low expectations. The studio didn't expect a phenomenon. They expected a modest success, a quirky comedy that might find an audience, something small. How could a pet detective rule the box office? Something manageable. What they got was something much bigger, because sometimes the projects with the least pressure take the biggest risks. Number 16. Word of mouth took over. People didn't just watch it, they repeated it. Quoted lines, mimicked voices, shared moments. The film spread through conversation. through laughter, through that feeling of needing someone else to see what you just saw. It didn't grow quietly, it spread quickly. Number 17, a genre shift. After this, comedy changed. Studios noticed. They wanted bigger performances, more physicality, more energy, more outrageous elements that were never seen on screen before. Subtle humor didn't disappear. But louder comedy suddenly had a new standard, and that standard, now hold on to your horses, that came from Ace Ventura. Number 18, the sequel came fast. Success doesn't wait. Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls followed quickly, bigger scale, bigger jokes, even more commitment, because once the formula worked, there was no reason to hold back. Number 19, a character bigger than the film. Ace Ventura didn't stay contained. He became a reference point, an impression people tried to mimic. All over the world and in other language cinema industries as well. A style others borrowed from. A character that lived beyond the movie. And that's when you know something worked. When it stops being just a role and becomes something recognizable everywhere, in every place, even for generations to come. Number 20, the moment everything changed. Some careers rise. This one exploded. No slow climb, no gradual build. Just one movie. And suddenly, everything shifted. Opportunities, expectations, recognition, all at once. The 90s were Jim Carrey's decade when it came to comedy. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective wasn't supposed to be safe, it wasn't supposed to be subtle, and it definitely wasn't supposed to redefine a career overnight, but it did. Carrey's super talent, gifts, hard work, and sacrifices could no longer be hidden and not get rewarded, because sometimes, when you push too far, when you go louder, when you take something strange and refuse to tone it down, you don't fail, you become unforgettable. Alrighty then.